Oh. Hi everyone, welcome to this new video. Today I have a video for you guys which I'm very excited about, and I did some preparations as well. In this video I'm going to give you some tips on how you can fill up your sketchbook, mainly by drawing or painting. I've seen a lot of similar videos like these, but I'm really convinced that in this video I'll tell something new because I'll give some tips from personal experience of drawings or paintings that I did myself, and I thought, that would be a very nice idea to give to someone else as well. So first of all, this is my sketchbook. It's about 60 or 70% done, my sketchbook. There's still some pages left, quite a chunk of papers left, but I'm not going to do a sketchbook tour in this video, but I'll probably do when it's finished. But I'm going to give some examples from my sketchbook of paintings and drawings that I've done, to give an example as to what I'm explaining as a tip. I have some notes on my phone, so I'm going to look at them. The first tip is kind of general and maybe not a very good tip because everyone already knows that this exists, and that's Arttober/Inktober. I also entered this month. I've only done 4 so far. It's the 4th of October when I'm recording this. And you have many Arttober prompt lists you can enter. I'm doing Peachtober personally, but you can also do Inktober, and there are many other artists that host prompt lists that you can join. I really like the community feeling you have, and I also really like the drawings I've made so far. It's kind of ironic because I'm giving this as a tip for in your sketchbook, and I'm doing Peachtober on my iPad this month, so it's like, but it's still a tip, you know. It doesn't mean that if I'm not doing it that you can't do it, but it's already, probably when this video is out or when you're seeing this, it's already mid-October or even later, but it's still a valid tip in my opinion. Now, the second tip I have is also very fun, I think. It's to draw on acrylic blobs in your sketchbook. I have an example here. You basically start off with random blobs. It could also be shapes, but here I did square or rectangle blobs, and then use the background color as an inspiration for the drawing itself. I use my Posca markers, but you could also just use paint or even pencil to make these drawings, and afterwards I use this and this drawing as a base for a pattern I made digitally. So that's a very nice idea to do in your sketchbook to fill up some pages. It's also just very fun to do, and also kind of easy because you don't need to think about a crazy concept or anything. My third idea/tip is a very fun one, and I haven't seen a lot of people doing this, but I know a few people do this as well, and that's to recreate a famous artwork/painting, and I love this so much. I've done a lot of paintings, a lot of painting recreations so far in my sketchbook. I'm just going to show you a few examples. This was the first one I did. It's Francis Bacon. And then I was hooked on the idea to recreate artwork. Here is the swing. Déjeuner sur l'herbe. I skipped one, I have to look for it. Because I also did, here it is. A real hippie Vermeer. And then the last one I did was recreation of Van Gogh painting, Starry Night, which I love. I'm a big Van Gogh fan, or Van Gogh as you say in English. Ta-da! And I always print out the image first so I can use it as a reference. I don't really like using reference on a screen actually. I much rather prefer to print it out, and it also kind of fills up the sketchbook at the same time. So yeah, I filmed the process of making this painting. It's kind of mixed media. When I do these recreations, most of the time I first use watercolor, and then I'll go over with pencils, colored pencils, and also most of the time Posca markers or other markers. So that was idea number 3. Then number 4 is Instagram requests. If you have an Instagram account or maybe somewhere else, or maybe you can just ask a friend or your partner or your parents for ideas on what to draw in your sketchbook. And I think this is so much fun because you don't need to invent a concept this way. And I did this last Sunday. I posted a question on my Instagram stories on what I should draw, and a fun twist on it is to ask for emojis, one emoji or multiple emojis to use for one drawing. Here I did some requests. Don't pay attention to this one because I already did 4 Peachtober drawings on my iPad, and then I did these requests, so by the end I was just so tired of it. But for example, for this one, someone sent me the turtle emoji. These 3 are very fun as well because someone sent me multiple cute emojis separately, so I could make one image out of it. And I think I'll use this sketch for tomorrow's Peachtober prompt as well, so that's very handy. It's like literal practice and sketches. And here, this one I like as well. There are some weird ones on this page, but I just kind of want to get it done. Then idea number 5 is also one of my favorites. It's more like an idea for a style or a way you can paint, and that's to paint with negative space. I really love doing this. Also on my Starry Night painting, you can kind of see the stars is also made with negative spacing. I really love working with negative spacing. I'll just show a painting in which I've used this technique as well. Again, the stars with my podcast. I know this is like a really vague idea, but I have here's a good example of what I mean. You sketch out an object or blobs or shapes, and then you go around it with, for example, watercolor or Posca markers or color pencils, and it gives this really cool effect, I think. I think this looks so cool, so I wanted to include this in this list of ideas. Then number 6, I don't really have a valid example for, but I've seen this happen a lot, and that's to draw on paint swatches or Pantone swatches. I took some paint swatches from a store, but like this is what I've done with it. It's very ugly and not very impressive, which is also good about a sketchbook because you can just do whatever you want and it doesn't have to look very good. But the paint swatches were a bit glossy, and I tried to paint on it with my Posca markers, but it was a bit hard to, it didn't dry very well. So I would recommend paint swatches that aren't glossy. Or maybe it's just me being annoyed by the fact that it's glossy, but you can do a lot of fun things with it. And again, base your drawing on the background color / the color of the paint swatch or Pantone swatch, and you can just go really crazy with this. I think the results of these kind of drawings are very cool. I'm very sorry, my example is super boring. But I've seen a lot of artists do this online and it looks so cool. Oh, another tip I have, which is idea number 7, is to just go online and use a random generator. So it will just generate a random topic. You have special generators designed for drawing and sketching. And I used one, I just typed in Google drawing idea generator or something like that, and the first time it gave me the word tiger, and I made this, which was also the sketch for an Peachtober final drawing that I did for today actually. So I made the sketch and it actually was useful because I used it for my actual drawing that I used today. And then I also tried to use 2 words, and then it recommended Christmas tree and television, and this just looks like crap, to be honest, because I don't know, I wasn't really excited about the prompts. But it's still a very cool idea. If you don't have any inspiration, you can just go on a generator website, and the one I used, you could also choose how many prompts / topics you wanted, and it's kind of the same as when you ask on Instagram for like emojis or something, which I talked about earlier. It's kind of the same here, but a website generates it for you. Now I'm going to go a bit quicker because I have these as honorable mentions, but they're still valid tips. I just can't really talk about it that much. And that is number 8, a page of random doodles. I have a lot of these in my sketchbook actually. This is my favorite one. It's a bit Y2K inspired and like toys. And I think it looks so nice, but I also have other very random pages in here, like this. It doesn't have to look good, that's the good thing about sketchbooks. You can just make something that looks very bad and then on the next page make a piece of art that's very beautiful. ID number 9 is a live drawing, which is kind of, you know, obvious. I think a lot of people know you can do this in your sketchbook. But I have an example. This was a drawing I did when I was on holiday and we had like a B&B and it was so beautiful. There was a lot of beautiful nature and this was in the backyard of our B&B, so I just drew this. It was a lot of fun. Another ID number 10 is to do a draw this in your style. You can find a lot of them on Instagram under the hashtag draw this in your style, I guess, or if you follow artists, sometimes they host a draw this in your style. So you just draw the illustration how you would draw it, and I think this is so much fun as well. I have done this in the past, not in my sketchbook, but it's just a very fun concept and also handy if you don't have a lot of inspiration or ideas. Number 11 is to draw the same drawing with different mediums. This can be very handy if you want to test out a new medium like markers or pencils, and it's just easy if you can draw one drawing multiple times. Again, if you don't have a lot of inspiration, and that way it's also easy to see how the mediums change and if they have another vibe, if they have another texture and stuff like that, how that looks on the same drawing. I think that's actually a very neat idea. I don't know why I haven't done that before. I should probably follow my own ideas. Idea number 12 is to draw your favorite photograph or a picture from Pinterest. I have another example for this. So this is my boyfriend and my cat. And I think this drawing turned out so nice. It's a bit realistic, but it's more in my style and I really like how it turned out. Again, I printed out the image because it fills up your sketchbook and I think it's so much easier than to just look off of a screen or something. Idea number 13 is a comic about a personal experience, a funny comic, something people can relate to. I've noticed that humor does very well in illustrations. I'm totally not funny, but sometimes when I have a funny idea, it actually gets a lot more likes and stuff like that. For example, well, this isn't really a comic, but it could be a comic and it's really funny in my opinion. I had a random idea to draw mushrooms in a forest and then a person eating a mushroom pasta in front of them, and I don't know, people seem to like it. Idea number 14 is to draw over your whole sketchbook spread. I think it always looks so nice and neat when people do it. I've also tried it a few times. And you can really experiment with this like I did here. To be honest, I always like it more when it's drawn over a full sketchbook spread. I think it looks so much nicer than when you just use one page. And then my last idea slash tips is to draw multiple blobby shapes and then to make a real object out of it. I'm sure you've already heard of this and a lot of people do this, but I think it's so much fun and I haven't done it so far. But I really should do it because you should just draw a few blobs and then see what it looks like and then make it into that object. I think that's really cool. and I should definitely do this in my sketchbook in the future. So I can't believe I've already been filming for 20 minutes and I really thought this video was going to be super quick. But I really hope you learned something from this video, or at least was relaxed, or just liked the video, just liked me rambling. Don't forget to check out my other videos as well, and if you liked the video, like, comment and subscribe, and yeah, see you in the next video. I'm trying to post about 2 times a month now. Well, I used to in the past, but it wasn't as official, so now I'm trying to post every 2 weeks, and I'm really excited about it. And yeah, see you in the next video. I hope you have a very good day or night. Bye bye!